Alright, so if you're watching this video, you're probably wondering what the heck a UTPPE is. So, I'll give you a little bit of backstory first. So, a few months ago, my brother comes up to me and he's like, "Yo, Spence, I want to do a challenge in Realm, but I don't want to do a PPE, that's boring. And he wanted to go through every single dungeon in order from like easiest ones to hardest ones and get every item that he needed for that class. So it's basically a 100% UPE, but you have to go dungeon by dungeon and get every single item. So like basically for, say you were like a knight or something, you'd start in the easy ones like Pirate Cave. You got to get Corsair Ring, and then you move on, get Spider Eye Ring and the ring from Forbidden Jungle. And then you'd have to, like, say your next dungeon was Abyss, you'd have to get D-Blade and the ST Ring in Abyss before moving on to any other dungeon. And I was like, nah, dude, that's going to be so AIDS. So we didn't do that, and I helped him come up with something even better, which is what this challenge is. So this is the UTPPE. Basically, it's what it stands for is UT Tier Progression Player Experience. So UT Progression Player Experience. And you may be thinking like, it doesn't really make sense. Like, how can it be tier progression if it's UTs? Like, isn't that the whole point, that it's not tiered? Like, it's an untiered item. So yeah, but to get around that, I basically made I split the dungeons into 6 tiers. From easiest to hardest. So like, your tier 1 is gonna be like beginner dungeons, like Pirate Cave, and I can show what the dungeons are right here. So beginner dungeons are, you got Pirate Cave, Forest Maze, Forbidden Jungle, Hive, Spider Den. Those 5 dungeons is tier 1, okay? And what you need to do, what the challenge is you go tier by tier, from tier 1 to tier 6, and get every item, like 100% for the class that you're doing. Not get every single item, like if you're a knight, you don't have to get the robe of the Latoanai or something like that. So it's just for your class. But you'll have to get every item, including UT rings, before moving on to the next tier. Also, how ST rings work, basically, you have to get them only if they go with another ST, like it's part of that set. So like, I'm on a Kensei, so I have to get every ST ring that's also a part of a heavy armor ST set. So like, First Matesuka is part of a warrior set, so I do have to get First Matesuka because it's a heavy armor. Or like the Crystal Heart for that ninja set in Crystal Cavern, because it's a ninja set, it's the katana and the ring. Or like a samurai set, I have to get the ring as well as the armor and the katana, so that kind of thing. But basically, how the tiers work is, you got tier 1 right here, these beginner dungeons, and then you move on to tier 2, which is mainly Godlands dungeons, but it includes Ancient Ruins, Snake Pit, Sprite World, Magic Woods, UDL, Abyss, Cursed Library, Toxic Sewers, Mad Lab, Puppets Theater, Manor of the Immortals, Haunted Cemetery, Tea Cave, and Candyland. So those dungeons are all tier 2, mostly in Godlands. Tier 3 is a lot smaller than tier 2. It's Parasite, Dedox, Woodlab, Sea Depths, and Orcs' Castle, excluding O3. And also not Court of Orcs dungeons. So you have Orcs' Castle, Orcs' Chamber, and Wine Cellar. And then Sea Depths, Woodlab, Dedox, Parasite Chambers. That's tier 3, alright? Alright, moving on. Tier 4 is easy encounter dungeons and Court of Orcs dungeons. So like, you got Davies, Mountain Temple, Laud, and by easy encounter dungeons, I just mean non-exalt. So like no Nest or Lost Halls. So you got Davies, Mountain Temple, Laud, Third Dimension, Ice Cave, Ocean Trench, Tomb of the Ancients, High Tech Terror, Shaitans, Encore, Thicket, and Nidarian Reef. So that's tier 4. And then tier 5 is obviously the 8 exalt dungeon, or sorry, the 6 exalt dungeons. So you have O3, Shatters, Cult, Void, Fungal Cavern, and Nest. So those ones right there. And then so that's like, those are the hardest dungeons. So what could tier 6 be? Tier 6 is just gonna be seasonal dungeons. So like Ice Tomb, Rainbow Road, Machine is tier 6, Battle for the Nexus, like those kinds of things. what Ethan and I are doing is we are not allowed to move to the next tier until the other person is ready to move to the next tier. So it's like kind of a partner thing, and we're also allowed items that are tradable. We're allowed to give to each other, excluding potions. You have to get your own potions, but we're allowed to trade. Like if one of us gets a second residue, we're allowed to give it to the other person. Is there anything else? I think that's about it. Obviously, if you have any more questions, go ahead and ask me on stream. I'll be happy to answer them. But we thought it'd be a fun little challenge, way to shake up the game, and also nobody's ever done it before. So we'll see how far we can get.